change don't happen when you say it's gonna happen.
Oh no.
In fact, change usually happens when you least expect it, but it don't happen for no reason. In order for something to change in your life, in order for your life to go into a different direction, whether positive or negative, it had to take what Marcus said, a compound effect. There is a compound effect that takes place whenever change happens in your life. And whether you're sowing seeds to change your life in a positive or to change your life in a negative, it's up to you. And if you wanted to change, you're gonna have to wait for it.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always sit with me is the Aaron Mack. We are back for another one.
We are back. Episode 103, I think we are.
103. This 103.
103. This is 103. This means that
all right.
Bro, we almost going on 2 years of doing this podcast, bro.
Hey. Here's the many more.
Man, oh man. the amount of things that have changed since the beginning. And we have our struggles sometimes, but just the amount of growth that's been happening mentally, spiritually, physically. Unfortunately, there's a lot of physical growth happening, and it ain't supposed to be. So, your boy hitting the gym again. So, yeah. So
understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
We ain't even gotta go there, but hope everybody had a very blessed, amazing week, and we're gonna go ahead and start on this. I want to ask a question, man.
All right.
And this is a help me understand type situation.
Okay.
So on Reddit yesterday, by the way, we on Reddit now. You can link up with us on there at the Dirty user Dirty Trunk Podcast. We on there answering all type of questions, getting nosy and getting in all type of all people business. So scrolling through Reddit, it just happened to come through this post about entitled parents, like, and the chick, she's a cancer survivor, and she qualified for Make-A-Wish, and she wasn't even able to use her Make-A-Wish for what she wanted to use the Make-A-Wish for, because her mom wanted to use the Make-A-Wish to do what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to Barbados.
Oh wow.
The girl wanted to go see the Jonas Brothers or some shit. And the Jonas Brothers trip, to go meet the Jonas Brothers, she had to go to an exotic place anyway. It was like Hawaii or some like sunny tropical place or somewhere, like, cause they live in the mountains and the snow and all that up north. So they would have been able to go to a resort anyway to meet these dudes. And the mom was like, I want to go to Barbados. Like, the mom was just like straight up like taking control of the conversation. She wanted to go here, there, everywhere else. Didn't even get a girl to say. So I like, as I'm reading through this joint, right, I'm noticing a lot of verbiage that suggested that this girl did everything she could to please her mom, even though like she wanted to do something else. And she tried to say, okay, I'm like the Make-A-Wish coordinator was like, you need to do what you want to do. This is not her wish, this is your wish or whatever. And she ended up giving her mom what she wanted, bruh. And then the mom took her to a concert and complained about it the entire time, even after she got what she wanted. And the girl was still trying to justify what her mom did, as if she was like somehow right. So you're gonna have to help me understand, bro, because I looked at it and I was so lost. Like, I didn't even comment on it because it was so trifling, bro. I was like, wow. And to not only give her what she wanted, to completely disregard what she wanted for herself, being the patient that was given the opportunity to do so. You not only gave up what you wanted to do, you justified the ignorance that went into it. So I need some help understanding why people get into that mode where, you know, they just like to give like straight up, like I'm going to go ahead and say it. You enabling bad behavior.
Yeah. There's no, it's because all right, because that's like a extreme case of like what me and Lee have. Like, we will give, but like, you know, at least we know that there's a cutoff, like
right.
That
It made me
situation.
think about her when I was reading it, right? Because it was like, it was so it sounded so, the mentalities around it sounded so familiar. Like, just let your parents do whatever the hell they want to, and just say, oh well, that's family. Like, I have to endure this because that's family.
So that's pretty crazy, because I was talking with somebody and they were having that same situation. I don't know like where the mindset comes from. I know, since I'm like a giving, caring person, like you just want to help the next person out, or just anybody in general. You just want to help them out. But like, when it gets to the point where you're sacrificing like your own happiness, and it's a mixture of like a bunch of things. Me not liking conflict, you know, I'll do that. All right, you know, say Courtney wants to watch something, and you know, there's this movie that's really coming out, and I'll be like, all right, you know, we can just watch whatever she wants to watch.
That's Lee.
And
yeah.
In the moment, it doesn't, you know, seem bad, but like, you know, it keeps happening, and you know, those situations get more and more, you know, intense.
Right.
I guess just doing it that one time, you just like reprogram your brain to be like, all right, we do this all the time. And it's hard to break that cycle, because when you start to breaking it, when you start to tell that person no, or like when you start to, you know, change it,
you start
it
to
affects
lose them.
them.
You start to lose them,
because then they're like, oh, in some situations they'll be like, all right, this person isn't giving me what I want. All right, is this person losing interest in me? They started doing this at the beginning of the relationship, but now they're not. So are they doing something wrong? Are they stepping out and all this other stuff? And it's just like, I would say you got to put your foot down like at the beginning, so they know, all right, this is
but
them.
you know, we talking about like parent-child relationships. You ain't necessarily got that luxury of being who you are from the beginning, especially like if you were raised to be like that. You were raised to not want to be in conflict, because you know, your parents just kind of like X'd you out anytime you had an opinion. They just kind of boxed you in and was like, shut the fuck up. Who the parent? Like, you better respect me. Like, they demanded respect your whole life. So, you know, you get to a point where it's like, all right, now I gotta fight back. And then they like, hey, but you know I pay your bills. And you like, you right. You right.
Yep. With that, it's conditioning from the parent. Like, they've conditioned you to be like
exactly
that. And
it's to their own benefit.
Yeah.
It's to
It
their own benefit.
always is. It's not towards your benefit because you're not
Oh
getting nothing
yeah.
out of it.
Oh yeah.
Uh, it's a ooh,
Which
that's a
can
deep topic.
kind of go into our topic of the day too, because I noticed like my mom, man, when I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up, and we had this conversation on the lost episode, man. She kind of raised me to be something that just turned around and bite her in the ass.
Hmm.
Like like she ain't had the patience to
Yeah.
deal with a child. So she tried to she ain't had the patience to go out and do the things in the world that she needed to do to make herself right. So she tried to mold me into somebody that will go out and bring it back to her like a little toy soldier or something, and it didn't work out for her. But yeah, we can kind of. I just wanted some clarity on that, because we never. I don't think we any closer to understanding that than when we first started. But I would say that it's narcissism at its finest, narcissism at its finest.
Yeah.
Callous behavior. You just like you're using your kids as leverage. like
Mm-hmm.
that sounds bad, but that's exactly what it is. You're just using your child as
They
leverage and trying
they're
to
just a pawn.
they're just a pawn. Like you playing chess, and everybody in the world is your chess piece, and your child is one of them, and you just kind of put them in the same boat as everybody else in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
it's sad that people have to go through that, man. You got parents out here stealing money from their kids. You got parents out here like
Oh,
sabotaging their kids' relationships. You got parents out here just like um encouraging the kid to make bad decisions just because that bad decision is going to please them, bro. Like it's and then not to mention what we talked about on a previous episode about parents that open up credit cards in their kids' names and blow them suckers out. I'm talking blown straight out the water. They try to get something in their, when they become an adult, and somebody come back and got to tell them like, look, I don't know if you know about credit, but yours
yours
right
is shot.
now, yours is shot. Like you
Mm.
got like a 200 credit score. We didn't even know it was possible until we met you. You about to be the talk of this office right quick. But and
Couple.
then they go back and find out that their parents screwed them over. And yeah, man, it's bad. So anybody out there with kids, like for real, you gotta live your own life. Your kids can't be granted, your kids are part of your life. I ain't even gonna go there. Your kids are part of your life, but your kids' life ain't your life. I'm gonna say that again.
I'm-
Your kids' life is not your life. Let's stop that on that one. Go ahead, Mark.
I would say let's get a little bit deeper into that. Like because like you said, it goes along with that topic. The people the parents that do that, they don't have the lack of patience to uh
Or they lack
I
the
ain't gonna say
patience.
even they lack the patience and the drive to like kind of get their shit together.
Mm.
At least to the point where they can live comfortably, raise that child, and then once that child's get,
Mm-hmm.
old enough on their own,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then they come back to themselves
Right.
and then try to, make something of themselves. Because like
Right.
once you have that child, let's be real, like your main focus is a lot of times gonna be that child. Raising them correctly, teaching them things, getting them into school, doing everything on time, making appointments for like, their shots, doctor's appointments for when they feeling sick. It's it's a job. It's a job in itself.
Yeah.
Shout out to the parents out there for, raising, one kid, more than one kid. Like
Right.
it because you had to get out of yourself and be like, all right, I'm responsible for a whole life. I can destroy this life or I can nourish it and
Mm.
make it something great beyond me. Cause I mean, yeah, the parent gets a little credit in that. However the child turns out, the parent gets a little credit in that. Well, maybe probably about like 50, 40s, whatever. Because it does depend
You
on the child also.
look for real. You get a little bit of credit, and just a little bit. You get a
Just a
little
little
bit
bit.
of credit until they become an adult. But for
Hmm.
real, like I don't like that either, Mark, because like people want to take credit for everything good that their kid does, but they don't want to take credit for the bad either though. Like I feel you want to be
Yeah.
proud. You want to be proud of your kid. You know they a scholar.
Hmm.
They did this. They did that. But like for real, why you don't want to take credit for your kid being on crack though? For real.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
your kid out here stealing stuff and breaking into people's houses for a living. Your kid out here gangbanging. Why you don't want to take responsibility for that either? And I get you. You know, you got them in a bad neighborhood. I feel you on
Hmm.
that. My mom had me in a bad neighborhood too. I had to pull myself out of that because I could have been gangbanging too. But in the same, I ain't choose where I lived at. But look,
Right. Right.
I won't go back on something that you just said. Like,
Hmm.
let's not act like people ain't out here treating their kids like lottery tickets, though.
Yeah.
Let's not act like, you know, people ain't saying like, okay, I ain't got a high school education, but I want you to go to college and get you this 4-year degree.
Yeah. So I can
Look,
talk about you to my friends and all this other
right,
stuff.
right. So I look, I went to school. I couldn't stay in school. Like, you know, I got straight
Hmm.
F's. You know, I failed out, dropped out, went to have all type of babies everywhere. You know, I got like 6 kids. You know, I'm looking at my oldest. I'm looking at my oldest like, look, you got to go to college. You got look, you got siblings to take care of. You got to go to college. You
Mm.
know, so you ain't had the patience to sit your ass in school, but you expect them to.
Hmm.
You ain't had the patience to
Hmm.
go for a 4-year degree. You got a GED, but you expect your oldest kid to do what you couldn't. So, and when we talked about, you know, the expectation, boy, of like, you know, your parents raising the bar, but like if you ain't willing to go out and actually put in the work to make it happen, they look at you like, all right, you ain't had the patience to do it, so why should I?
Right.
Why should I?
Right. And that creates a whole dangerous dynamic
Right.
between the relationship of a child and a parent, because then they see that, then how are they going to treat their kids?
Mm-hmm.
uh and it is real crazy how that story is more common than you would think. Kids growing up having to raise their younger siblings because their parents weren't, they won't shit. And
Bruh. I met a girl one time, bro, and I was like, I was working at Sears, dog,
mhm,
and this lady came in, and she had like 5 kids with her. And one girl, you could tell she was like, you know, she was the oldest. She was the
mhm,
biggest, a little more developed or whatever. But you could tell she won't grown, Mark. You could tell she won't grown. And you know, she was with her mom
mhm.
and I guess stepdad. Like I don't fucking know. Like this, I don't know the situation, but you know, I could tell it just wasn't her dad, but I could tell
Mhm.
that this dude was with her mom. And they had little kids running around. I know that because they were different race, and I know that you know, she's a little Hispanic girl, whatever. The dude was like black. He was like a light skinned dude. The mom, she, you know, full Mexican, whatever the case is. And you know, she got, there's about 5 kids with them, and the the girl, the oldest one, she got a baby on her hip. She messing around with like this little dude that's standing next to her. He won't stop making noise. He tripping. You got another little baby that's trying to get outside. And here's what I noticed, right? Neither of these kids were hers. None of those
Right.
kids were hers. They were all her siblings. And the conversation happened like, and this happened in the waiting room while we were there, right? And
Mhm.
well, in the waiting room of Sears, because they were coming to pick up some appliances or something. And the little girl started like going out the door. And you know, curious kids, they do what curious kids do. She a kid herself. She ain't got enough manpower with her to watch all
Mhm.
these kids. The mom and the boyfriend, they just scooted off somewhere and left her by herself. And she came back and saw the girl that was trying to like get out the door, and then she started yelling at the girl for you know, because she was about to leave. And I'm like, yo, how deep is that? You just sitting up here, got your, and I mean, like these kids ain't respect this woman at all.
Come on.
They ain't respect this woman at all. Like she was there. Like, can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine your kids don't listen to you because they're looking at your oldest kid and asking them all the questions and asking them, can they get like asking for permission? Like, how much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? How much sense is it that you expect your oldest kid to take care of your kids because you couldn't keep your legs closed? How much sense does that make?
None at all. None at all. And for that slides right into that patience. She didn't have the patience or the mentality to deal with those kids. And all it would have took
to be a parent.
You didn't even have to, because you know, kids they understand more than what we give them credit for.
Yeah.
They brilliant little people. They brilliant little people.
Demon seeds.
Yes, and they absorb and they grow. Like they can. I'm not gonna say it doesn't take much to make them happy, but like just a little kindness can go a long way with a kid. Is what I'm trying to get at. Like if you show that you're working, doing your best, trying, they'll at least meet you halfway. They ain't gonna, totally grow up and be like, all right, my mom ain't shit. At least at the end of the day, if you tried, gave it her all,
those kids
you can say, I froze. You froze.
Can you hear me?
What happened?
You there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Those kids will.
We good?
Yeah, we good. You good?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You froze and you stopped moving. And I was like, what? All right.
Yeah, those kids will. To add to what you were saying, they will grow up and say, "My mom won't shit."
Yeah. No doubt. Like I said, all it would have took was just like showing that she cared. She's doing her best. She's trying. At least she would have that under her belt. She tried. She might not have been successful, but at least she tried. And I'm pretty sure they would have met her halfway.
Oh no, because she gonna raise those kids to say, I tried. I did the best I could with what I had. And they're gonna believe her because that's all they know. Until they get off their own planet, they won't know what it looks like until they get off their own planet, bro. And for real, like, and parents like that, bro, they're gonna make sure that the kids stay on their own planet. Like, let's be real. She gonna make sure that they stay on their own planet, so she don't get she don't get made, like they say in Undercover. She don't get made.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, that patience thing. That patience thing, man, is a tricky situation, man. Because like I see so many people. I see so many people, man, and they just they say they want stuff, but when you tell them that they're gonna have to wait for it, bruh, you tell them they're gonna have to wait for it. All of a sudden, they don't want it no more, bruh. All of a sudden, they don't want it no more, bruh. All right. So I was just watching. Like, you ever watch Stargirl?
Stargirl? No, I don't think.
Yeah, that's one of the Arrowverse shows on DC, one of the Greg Berlanti joints.
Okay.
We watching the joint, bro, and I lie to you not, Ma, and for real, I want y'all to see that I could literally look at anything in life and just kind of bring a message out of it. But I was like looking at it, and this one episode. Now I'm sorry for anybody who actually watching. I'm about to spoil the last episode of this.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. My dude, I mean, granted, it ain't necessarily a big part of the story, but one of the dudes on there, he started to get his shit together. He started to understand who he was. He's starting to come into his own, becoming an adult. he was one of those kids that was like always angry, wanted to take his frustration out on everybody else. He was one of the quote unquote bad boys. He wasn't necessarily a bully, but he was one of those lone wolf type of dudes. Like, yo, don't fuck with me. I'm gonna fucking kill you while you sleep. Like one of them kind of dudes. And like he started to get his shit together, and he's like, all right, cool. I'm good now. I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do and keep it moving forward one day at a time. And he had this revelation. You could tell in his character that he had this revelation. His character development started to like show in like a big form. And he's at high school, so he went to go take this test, and it was the last test that they had to take to finish their grade or whatever. Right. And my man took the test because he actually studied for it, but because he was a bad boy. I want y'all to hear this. He was a bad boy. So his teacher responded to the fact that he passed the test with flying colors because he's a bad boy. Only thing she knew him was a bad boy, Mark. So guess what happened?
She accused him of cheating.
She accused him of cheating, bro. She accused him of cheating. She said, I don't believe you passed this. Where'd you get the answers from? He said, what do you mean I studied? And he got pissed. And I promise you got all the right to be pissed, but at the same time, you can't be pissed at nobody but yourself, bruh. You can't be
pissed. That's the reputation that you set up.
And here's where the patience thing come in at. You done made your bed. You gotta lay in it. You gotta lay in that. You already made your bed. So if you show up in the world in a certain form, in a certain fashion, and people respond to you in that certain way, if you want to change their perspective of you, mind you, the first impression has already been made. And it's hard to delete a first impression. It takes time to delete a first impression. It takes a lot of effort to delete a first impression, bro. It takes a lot of effort. And he wasn't willing to put in that effort. She said, look, this is the test from last year. You're going to take this one to prove that you actually passed it. Ooh. And he was like, man, screw this. I'm out. Ooh. And he failed.
Yeah, I would have been a little pissed at that too.
And granted, like I understand.
I understand it though.
I understand you would be pissed. I would be pissed too, but like at the same time, like, look, for real, you ain't passed nothing in this class ever. And all of a sudden you come and pass the last test. Bro, I would be confused too. Like, yo, what? Bro, come on, man. I need y'all to understand, like, look, things take time, man. Things don't just come to you just at a snap of a finger. You ain't rubbed no magic lamp.
Facts.
You ain't got no magic lamp. So why are you acting like things are just supposed to come to you in a snap?
That's why I say like I said with the patience thing, it's more than just you doing something and it's taking a long time. It's also a part of endurance. Like that whole situation, if he would have had endurance, he would have got through that. He would have been like, all right, I know the reputation I have for myself, it ain't the greatest. And it's gonna take some time and endurance to change that narrative that people have on me.
But check out how deep it is though, Ma. I hate to cut you off. Hold that thought though. Like, check out how deep this is. Like, if he was really growing, if he had, like, I get you growing up, but if he was grown, like past tense, grown into where he was supposed to be, he probably didn't have to take the test. Think about that. He could have addressed the elephant. And he probably didn't even look. So in that moment, think about this. She got a preconceived notion of who he is or who she think he is. And in the moment where she applied pressure, he reverted right back to the same motherfucker he was at first.
Yeah.
Screw this, I'm out. Do what you want to do. Fail me if you want. And she did. True. Look, had he answered it in a different way, look, Mrs. Such and Such, I know I've been a pain in your ass. Like, I'm being real. I've been a pain in your ass. I was going through something. My dad is, I don't have my dad in my life. You know, I was going through something. I know that's not an excuse, but I really did study for this test. I can show you my notes, such and such, blase, splee. She probably would have been like, all right, look, I understand. And gave you some little life advice, and you would have been on your way. Like, for real, because it ain't, it's definitely not. A teacher can't do that, by the way. Like, I just want to go ahead and put that out there. Like, that's not a thing.
But what kid knows that?
Right.
That's the thing. He was still on his island. All right. He was getting.
He was on his boat trying to leave his island, and he got pushed back by the wave. And then all of a sudden, he was just like, "All right, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here." And bro, you see people like that, like, come out of prison with that same mentality, dog. Like, you see, like, I got family, bro, who've been in jail my entire life. They come out and they like, look, the world ain't about to give me what I need. Like, I need money, and I need money now. Like, they on their JG Wentworth stuff. Like, they need their money now. And when the world don't respond in the way they wanted to respond, they like, man, fuck this, man. The world's so hard, man. They don't want me out here. They don't want me out here in these streets. And they keep telling me I gotta do this, I gotta do that, man. But a motherfucker can't do. And then they end up going back to the same shit that put them in jail in the first place, because they ain't had the patience to persevere what they already created. You already created the space that you put yourself in. So when it's time to put in work, you fold. So it really don't even matter how much you put, how good you trying to be, because you tried, and trying don't pay the bills.
They do not. Oh. That's a good one. The waves was a good one. So, like, how can we push the mindset or the topic that you're gonna have to endure? You're gonna have to be patient with any and everything if you're trying to turn a new leaf. I seen a video recently how he's not really how is it? He's not knocking the religion, but because of what he's been through inside of church, the church won't really, adjust church. So he fell out of that religion, and he's kind of moving into, trying to figure out his own understanding. And then as soon as he did that, he had, the people in the church, why you turning your back against, the church and whatnot and all this other stuff. And then he has this other side. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have been following them in the first place. Why you been following the religion that, the people enslaved you, taught you and whatnot? And he's just like, yo, look, I understand, understand everything. I understand, how you guys feel. I understand you guys feel, but this is me. And just like all of us, I'm taking the time to learn myself, to learn, what I believe in, how I should go about my life. I'm just trying to figure out me first so I can branch out. And I was like, yo, that's someone who's gotten to a point where, yes, they don't understand, but they're willing to have the patience and the endurance to figure it out.
Right.
And not a lot of people will do that. A lot of people will just be like, all right, well, I've been doing this for a certain amount of years. I'm gonna continue to do this. This all I know. And just settle. My parents been doing this. My grandparents was doing this. It must be in the DNA. I must just be this. This is me my entire life.
There's somebody or we.
Oh no, there's some dude I saw on TikTok.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, like I remember hearing I don't know if you know who Hobson is, the rapper.
Yeah. He was going through something similar.
Yeah, very similar, bro. Very similar. And people ain't got patience for themselves, bro. Like, it is okay to, like, say, we got to seek patience out in the world, but people don't have patience for themselves. Like, you think that like, and I had to have this conversation with a kid at work, right? Because he wanted that first grade promotion. And I can't necessarily say what the first grade promotion is, but you know what I'm talking about, right? He wanted that joint. He wanted to change his colors up a little bit. He wanted a little bit more responsibility. And everybody been, walking on eggshells when it comes to this kid because he got a bad attitude. He got a bad temper. Lee has been recruited to have this conversation with this kid, and I was just like, when she was asked, like, I ain't ask her. I'm like, yo, let me go talk. Let me have a few minutes with this motherfucker. I'll show him. I'll tell him. And I was just looking like, yo, why is everybody so scared to have that conversation? Apparently, we not allowed in my position. We not allowed to have that conversation because I don't fucking know. Like HR said, we not allowed to talk to people like that. We can't give constructive criticism without a manager involved. Some dumb shit that corporate America put into play so they can keep people in they bubble, whatever. I don't know, man.
You can't make people feel bad.
Right? Yeah. Like you can't even tell somebody they stink. Like, yo, how you out here got people gagging and you can't even tell them that they stink. Like, yo, that's ridiculous, bro. I mean, the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. But anyway, so the kid says, yeah, and I want to get a promotion and such and such, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm like, all right. And he looks at me. He said, "Why you make that face?" I'm like, "Do you think that somebody who just threw a scan gun across the dot because they got upset that they didn't get their way is going to be good at what you're trying to do?" He was like, "Yeah, but such and such and this and everything." And I got mad and I got upset. And I'm like, "Yeah, but you do know that there's a better way to handle what you were trying to express. Like, you don't have to be a angry toddler. You a grown man. Like, how is that? Why would I want somebody like that in a leadership position? Like, that don't even make sense to me. I don't get why you thought that was okay." It's like, but yeah, and you guys gotta understand, and you guys don't do this and you don't do that. And I'm like, but I'm having a conversation about you. We're not talking about me. I get that you were upset with us. I get upset with me sometimes in my position. I get that. But if I walk through this joint, start throwing shit and start stomping through here and having bad attitudes and rebelling against the system like you do, bro, where do you think I would be right now? And he just looks, he's like, yeah. And I was like, bro, you're gonna have to switch it up, man. You can't be who you are right now and move up to the next level. I'm just going to be honest with you. And he was just like, what? No, man. He tried to argue with me. Instead of coming to the realization that there's some growth that needs to happen. He wanted it right there, right on the spot. He started talking about how long he worked there. He started talking about how people who've been working there less time than he has already got that promotion. And I'm like, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with the time.
Really,
it ain't got nothing to do with the time.
We had I was gonna mention about Herb, how long Herb's been there, and how long he's been in his position? Not even a year yet, right?
No, it ain't been a year yet.
So recently he just got a promotion after climbing through the ranks. It's not about how much time you put in. It's a little bit of how much good you work. But like, even then, let's be honest, if they don't like you, you ain't moving up.
Yeah. You can be the best in there, bro.
I'm saying, if you ain't got those people skills, then just a little bit. All this takes a little bit. If you ain't got them, if we're talking about the person we're talking about, he's gonna have to, be patient. He's gonna have to endure, because he's already set a narrative for himself.
Exactly.
He's the doc rat. He acts like a brat. He acts like a toddler, like you said, throwing tantrums, throwing things. It's just like, yo, you have the narrative of a kid. And if you try to, move up in any position, you're gonna have to beat that narrative.
And it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough, bro. It's gonna be tough. And the thing that tripped me out, like, at least I told you about the narrative.
Right. Yeah. At least you were honest.
You know what the narrative is. Now you have the tools that you need to fix it, bro. Do you know PAs don't even have a narrative? We don't even get the narrative, Mark. So we fight.
Y'all just public enemy number one.
We like tuna trying to go up here, trying to go upstream in a waterfall, bro. We don't know what they don't like about us because they don't even tell us. I told you exactly what you needed to fix, exactly what the conversation is. I gave you the tools, and you still like, look, I want this now. I deserve this right now. Instead of working on what you need to work on to get it.
Thanks.
You want it right now. And I see so many people, they want their results right now, bro. They want their results right now. You talking about somebody trying to lose weight. They get on Instagram, look at all the fitness stuff. They see people doing moves and stuff. They doing, they doing all these power crunches upside down, hanging from the side of buildings and stuff. They doing like flagpole joints. They doing all type of stuff. They got these rock hard abs. And bro, you think you looking at this shit like, yo, I need to be doing that. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that, bro. You work in a warehouse. Bro, you can't do that. You to beat your body up to shit. You can't do that. Start small first. And people just want to go like, oh man, I hate this. Bro, I go to the gym quite often. Right? Mark, tell me why I would go to the gym and see somebody who I know for a fact trying to lose weight.
Right.
I know for a fact they trying to lose weight. And then they get on a treadmill or the Stairmaster, bro, and they put the speed all the way up thinking that that's what they need to do.
No.
And I go to Planet Fitness, so you can't say nothing. They kick you out that joint.
Come on.
They kick you out that joint, bro. Yeah, you
giving advice.
You get up in somebody's business, bro. You ain't a trainer, bro. They get the snitching on you, man, and then you out that joint. They'll just go ahead and cancel your membership on the spot, bro. And you know why they doing it. You know why they doing it. Because they trying to get their results as fast as possible. As fast as possible. You've been overweight. You've been overweight 7, 9, 12 years, bro. And you trying to lose all that weight that you had accumulated all those years in 12 minutes, bro. I know exactly why you doing it. And you can't tell people nothing, bro. Like for real. Like, yo, and they try to justify their philosophy. You trying to justify your failed philosophy. It ain't work for you none in your life, and you still try to justify it. You just sat up there on the treadmill and told yourself, all right, if I put the speed up and I raise the intensity, or if I try to build my muscles, I want my arms to get bigger. If I go try to do the most weight as I humanly possibly can, somebody tell you that you got to injure yourself because you don't got no knowledge of what you need to do. You ain't got no knowledge of what you need to do. You moving on straight. You moving on straight mythological advice that you gave yourself. You like, all right, if I go in the gym and I take the pen out and put the most weight on, I'm bound to get my results faster, right?
With muscles is with working out in general, it's a compound effect. You have to start small and then build your way up, because if you just try to do the heaviest thing, you're gonna end up ripping something, tearing something, breaking something.
How long does it take, Mark?
I hope to actually start getting into it takes a good month.
No. Let me throw a math problem out there. Jimmy had 2 apples and Ray had 4 apples, and like, let me go ahead and throw a math problem out there, right? If my BMI, if my BMI is at 55%, how long is it gonna take me to get abs? Flat abs.
Flat abs. Ooh.
Let's be real. I want to hear this.
I don't even know. How do you
measure that?
Do you lower?
If I go to the gym, and here's the philosophy: if you go to the gym every single day for an entire year, you might just break flat abs in a 365-day span of going to the gym for an hour a day. You just and there's a lot of factors there. Of course, it depends on what you eat, how you eat. You can get abs by just changing your diet.
Yeah.
I don't think people know that. You think you got to go to the gym. You can sit at home. You can sit at home. It's just about what you eat. If you smashing cheeseburgers every day, I'm pretty sure you ain't trying to get those rock hard abs like you say you are.
Because like real.
Go ahead.
It's all calories and how much you burn throughout the day.
No, it's not. It's
like you said, just by changing it.
Bro, if you stop eating bread,
I noticed, yeah, starch, anything starchy.
Yeah, anything white.
That's where the keto diet comes in. Actually, people lose tremendous of weight just by going on a keto diet.
Speaking of, bro, shout out to Richard, bro. Richard Gentry. You remember him?
Yeah, I've been saying I follow him on Instagram. Yeah. He been in the gym faithfully.
In the gym, like, on the keto, boy. My man had to at least lose like 50 pounds already, bro. I was like, bro, for real?
He was on a mission. I don't know what it was, but he was on a mission.
My man got tired of. Look, I had a conversation with him one time, man. I was like, look, he talked to me about going to the gym every day. I was like, look, man, I go to the gym every day because this was before I met Alyssa. I was like, I go to the gym every day because when my future wife get here, I gotta look good for her. I think he might have took that to heart.
You're not married?
Huh?
Richard not married?
No.
Richard not married?
Hell no.
He got a kid though. Right.
He was married. He divorced.
Oh, Richard. Dang. All right. True. So you said something earlier that made the question about the parents why they do what they do with like raising their kid and whatnot, and somewhere like they just failed and they were okay with it, and they're trying to either like regain that or try to at least get like a somewhat of a come up through their kid. However they might go about it, opening the credit cards in their name, using them for a check, having more kids so they can get a check, and then putting the responsibilities on, the oldest. And all it would have took would have been some type of endurance, some type of patience to nurture and care for the kid. At least get them to the point where it froze again. All right, we're back. At least get them to the point where they're stable to be on their own or something. Right. That's all it would have took.
Right. And it's deep though, because like people don't have patience, right? And we hear talking about patience, and then you lose your patience by you try to use your kids for a check. Like I ain't necessarily. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything like that. And obviously I'm not raising any kids now, but I can't imagine that, if I treat my kids with love, kindness, respect, and I nurture them to be good people with, good backgrounds and all that other stuff like that. I can't imagine that, their success ain't going to get shared or blessed over into me anyway. I can't imagine that, right. I treat you with, all that love, tenderness, respect, and then, you grow up and you just forget about me. I can't imagine that. Like, I don't think that's necessarily how that works. Like, I ain't never, somebody poured into me. Like, I absolutely poured into me, and I just straight up forget about them. Just like, yo, fuck that. Like, fuck them.
Right. Like I said, like kids, they understand that and they see that. They see the efforts. They see the TLC, the tender love and care that you put into them, and it's gonna come back tenfold.
Right.
Like it might not happen right away. Like patience and endurance. All you have to do once they become successful, they ain't gonna forget. Who forgets about their parents? Even if you leave a bad impression or a good impression, you are their parents, and they're gonna remember you for how long. Now, depending on you being good or bad, depends on what type of eulogy you get at your funeral and
or if you
whatnot.
get
Even
one
if
at
you get a
all,
funeral,
I might not show up.
yeah.
It might turn your ass over to the city and be like, yo, can anybody identify this body?
Tragic.
Yeah,
Man.
Man, we gonna go ahead and start wrapping this thing up, man.
All right.
What you got, Mark?
People do better. Don't be afraid of enduring. It's something that's gonna happen. You're gonna have to endure something, some type of resistance to change. If you have to change your religion, if you have to just change something about yourself, it's gonna take patience and endurance. With other people, they don't change overnight either. I know we want to see the best in people, but if they're not willing to change, why give your patience and endurance to them, to people like that? That's what I got, man.
Yeah. And and I just want y'all to understand, man, that change don't happen when you say it's gonna happen.
Oh no.
In fact, change usually happens when you least expect it, but it don't happen for no reason. In order for something to change in your life, in order for your life to go into a different direction, whether positive or negative, it had to take what Marcus said, a compound effect. There is a compound effect that takes place whenever change happens in your life. And whether you're sowing seeds to change your life in a positive or to change your life in a negative, it's up to you. And if you wanted to change, you're gonna have to wait for it. You're gonna have to put in the work. You have to make sure that you nurture whatever you're trying to cultivate in your life, because it's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not going to happen just because you think it and it's just going to appear. You can't wish for a better life. You got to work for it. And for those, this is like for y'all who got something going on, who came from a bad background, came from a bad situation. You're right. It ain't your fault. You grew up in a bad reality. You grew up and the cards were stacked against you. But if you stay there, that's your fault. That's your fault. And if you chose to stay there and it got you in trouble, then it's up to you to fix it. It's not up to anybody else. I can't come in and change your life. I can't. I'm not. And I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't got the patience to do that anyway, or the finances to do so. So, people, and that's what it's going to take. If you want something, if you're waiting for somebody to come in and create a miracle in your life, you want that quick, you want it so bad, so fast. Here's what it's going to take for somebody to come in into your life and make that much of a difference that is going to change your reality. It's going to take a lot of money and it's going to take a lot of patience. And guess what? Once they spend that money, you're going to be real happy. Once they give that to you, you're going to be real happy. Whatever it is that you want in life that you ain't had to work for, you're going to ask for it. You're going to get it. You're going to be real happy that you got it, but it ain't going to stick because you didn't work for it. So I'm going to need y'all to get out of the mentality of you walking around like a gross sister. You walk around like a gross sister. You got your hand out. You got your hand out. You waiting for it. And I need y'all to understand that you got to put your hand down, put your head down, and actually keep working, because there's nothing going to come to you unless you go out and work for it. And it's going to take time. Right. Just because you put in a day of work don't mean you can get a lifetime results.
Ooh. Facts. Big facts.
All
right, people.
So this episode was brought to you guys by the Gem State Siege and Guardian of the Pacific. Guys, today, actually, by the time you guys hear this, I will be done with that conference. We got a conference this weekend, Mark, starting tomorrow. And I'm a little nervous about this one because there's some challenges that took place, but we talking about patience now, so I'm just gonna let it ride. I'm gonna go into it with my head down and I'm gonna let it ride, bro. You guys can check. You guys can purchase the book, the Guardian of the Pacific, on ajmcmullen.com, as well as Amazon, ebook and paperback, and you can get the 50% off code and the back of the Gem State Siege. If you read the book, you can find the discount code in there. And shout out to Caleb, man. Almost blew my whole discount code out the water. And standing in a group of people, I ain't look. So Caleb, he went through the book and was reading for grammatical errors, man. And I ain't think my man read the book. And then all of a sudden he just blurted out the code, and I was like, "Oh!" He was like, "We in a group of people." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, my dude, we need you to chill the fuck out, bro. We need you to chill the fuck out, bro." I was like, "God damn, how you do me like that, man?" So yeah, big ups to Caleb, man. I'm gonna get him the second book for free, so he can go ahead and do that same joint with that. And we're gonna make a quality premium product, man. It's too late to undo what we already did, but the only thing that we can do from this point on is keep growing and keep improving on what we already got, man.
Word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast with the Elephant. As always, welcome. Love y'all.
Peace, love y'all. See y'all next time.